How you doing? How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
I was just tuning in to you guys because I always watch the station, and I listen to you. I listen to your conversations, and I think they're very intellectual. I think they're on a higher level than some people's learning and that some people's understanding. And I respect you. I respect you as an atheist and your experiences. And there's people that say that they're Christians and then they'll cuss you out. You know, they'll say one thing about God and then the next thing you make them angry and they'll cuss you out. And so, but they'll still call themselves a Christian. But mine is totally different from that. Mine is around that when I
was just going to say thanks, but go ahead.
Mine is a total different experience. See, when I was born, and I can't explain it, there's always been something that makes me feel, like I have morals. Like if I do something wrong, like it would be like my mother's disciplining me, but she's not there. And I tried to explain to my brother, and he was an atheist, and he just passed away on the 25th. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay. I never tried to infringe on him, and he respected mine. And we never argued about it because I embraced his, and he understood mine. And we never fought about it because I felt like the more I tried to explain it, the more we're going to get a heated conversation. So I just had to live what I felt. And this feeling that I have, I'm going to tell you, sometimes in the middle of the night, and some people call it a sixth sense, but I was so scared to say it because people say, oh, you're bipolar, or you're schizophrenic, or you're this, or you're that. And once I come into the reality of who I am as a person now, it's a total different experience to me as it is to you. And I'm respecting what you're saying on television as an atheist. And because it makes me wonder, and I have thought that where do we actually come from? But that, to me, is so high up at thinking. Because I'm just at the basics in regards to, I know that he talks to me. I know that something talks to me. I know that something guides me. And I know that something makes me aware that,
Can I ask, just so that I understand what you're talking about, when you say he talks to you, do you mean you actually hear a voice, or you feel impressions of what you think God wants?
I feel impressions.
Okay.
I feel impressions.
I'd say, actually, I don't see anything particularly abnormal about most of what you said. I mean,
and that's what my brother felt also.
You probably don't realize this, having not watched the show for a lot, but both of us were Christians for a great many years. And
but you know what? I listened to you, and I became more understanding and more knowledgeable because I didn't want to argue. I just wanted to understand. Yeah. And even that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to understand with my brother the way he was feeling, but I also wanted him to respect the way I felt. And that's how we were able to come together. And my experience was that I felt, and I can't prove it, but I watched my brother pass away on the 25th, and it was such a beautiful experience because as he passed away from cancer, I don't think that the cancer killed him, but I believe that he was ready. That he was ready to go. And when he got ready to go, he explained a realm that only I, as a child, thought that I was like, oh my God, what are you talking about? They're going to call you crazy. They're going to call you schizophrenic. They're going to call you better not say that. They're going to dope you up with some drugs. And what happened was it confirmed to me of my belief and my experience. And so therefore, there's nothing, and please don't get me wrong when I say this, there's nothing that you can say to doubt me now because I had that experience. And there's probably nothing I can tell you to make you feel different about your experience. But I'm telling you, I respect yours.
Well, no, you could give us evidence. I mean, I don't mean to be short with that, but it's not like my mind's closed. I'd never reject good evidence for something that's not on the bullshit.
I listen to you. Your conversation is so intellectual. Excuse me, I'm educated, but to the evolution and different things like that, that's such a higher calling to me. A higher level. Because mine was just, I'm telling you, it's not the manifestation that I've seen. It's the spirit realm that I felt. I've even actually had people communicate with me and say a word that somebody else could never understand. And I say that to that person, and their face changes like, how did you know? And I would be so scared to say that. At first I was, because I didn't know how people would I thought that they would call me, I was so fearful of the word bipolar, fearful of the word of schizophrenic, fearful of those words that if you go to a doctor or you go to a psychiatrist and you tell them these experiences, the first thing they want to do is put it up on a title. So I didn't do that, but I can see that I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable or anything.
I'm not uncomfortable. I just
really enjoy what you're talking about. I enjoy it because you're telling me from your experience.
Right.
Okay.
In that case, I appreciate the call, and we hope you keep watching, and maybe we'll say something.
I just want people. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
No, that's fine.
I just want people to understand that the difference between you and me is nothing. Is that you have an experience and I have an experience. And I was kind of getting angry at first because you were with the call and y'all was getting on this different evolutional different, but I was feeling you and I was understanding you. But mine is totally that to me it's something that I know because it's been with me ever since I was who I was.
Okay.
Okay. And thank you so much because you really did enlighten me for today, and you gave me hope. And I feel my brother, I feel his presence. And even though he has his experience as an atheist, I have mine as a Christian. So thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, thanks, Juanita. Any comments on that one before we go on the next one?
The only comment that I would have on that, and I appreciate Juanita's call, and I appreciate her wanting to, just say, hey, I'm just trying to understand, and that's something that I think is helpful. The one thing I would put out to the information on that is to always remember that even though an experience might be real, does not necessarily validate the interpretation of the experience. Right. So while I would never doubt anyone's experience, well, as long as, like along the lines of what Juanita's describing, I wouldn't doubt that. But I would caution that sometimes with more information comes a different interpretation of data.
Yeah, and at the end when she said, there's really not, the difference between us is nothing.
Right.
I'd say that if there is a significant difference, I'd say that's it. I'm not going to, if somebody comes to me and says, I believe in God and it's all because of things that I've experienced, there's absolutely nothing I can say. I haven't had their experiences, and until I do, I can't possibly judge them, and I couldn't even know that I had the same experiences if I did, because we're different people. So you can't argue against that, and if your belief is because God talks to you or you've had an experience that you are completely convinced is God, there is no argument against that. That has nothing to do with reality or reason or evidence or anything else. It's a personal thing, and it's like we tend to rely on our.
But it is an interpretation, and interpretations can change.
That's the critical part.
I might interpret my spouse as being a loving, faithful husband, and then I find a receipt from a hotel room that wasn't where he was supposed to be this weekend, and suddenly my interpretation changes because I got different information or more information on it that made me stop and reconsider how I was interpreting this previously. And that's all I'm saying. When someone says, hey, I don't have this type of information, I might not have all the information you have, but I have this experience, my point would be go get some more information and see what the experience means the more you learn, because it can